say that the question of death penalty, it was not yet proclaimed as a dogma of faith in an infallible manner. And therefore, formally, even if Pope Francis denies the truth of the legitimacy of death penalty, he did not commit heresy formally. It's only a technical question. The other more principal question of principles, it is impossible that the Pope is losing his office automatically by teaching heresy. Why? Because we are a hierarchical structure. We are not a community, a democratic community which can depose its leader, as do the Protestant communities or a political party or the Orthodox community of Orthodox bishops who do not have a visible head, but only acknowledge the synodality. And then when there is the principle of synodality only, as the Orthodox do, they can depose a patriarch, they can depose their head. And therefore, it is already an error. The synodality as a only principle. The synodality is also valid in the Catholic Church, but not the only and the most important. The most important is the primacy of Peter, of course, together with the synodality of the bishops. It's clear. And then this would go to the heresy of the conciliarism, which was in the 15th century condemned by the Church, which say that there is a body in the Church, let us say the council, or a group of bishops or cardinals who can pronounce a definitive judgment upon the head of the Church. This is contrary, this is illogical of our structure, Catholic structure, of the primacy which is divine, given. In this case, we go to the synod structure of conciliarism and synodality or episcopalism. It is very dangerous, and therefore it is impossible that to depose a pope. Because why? I repeat, because of the divine structure of the Church, and secondly, also because the Pope did not receive his office from the cardinals. No, they only elected him. But he received his office immediately, directly by God. And therefore, only God can remove him, or he himself when he renounces or when he is dying. I mean, in this case, God removes him. Sometimes earlier, can God remove a pope to spare the Church from other evils? But it's the decision of God and his providence. And then behind all these theories, even of Saint Robert Bellarmine, Cajetan, and so on, they are only theories. This is not a teaching of the Church. Never. The Church taught this. Never. And even saintly doctors of the Church can do errors. And they committed errors. Even the greatest doctor of the Church, St. Thomas Aquinas, he committed errors in doctrine because he refused the Immaculate Conception of Our Lady. He denied the sacramental character of the episcopal ordination, for example. And he was convinced that the materia of the ordination is the transmitting of the chalice to the priest. These are objective errors. So St. Thomas Aquinas committed these errors, but he remains a holy man and a trustworthy doctor. because Thomas Aquinas had not the gift of infallibility. It's only the church totally has this gift, and the Pope in very strict circumstances. And the same St. Robert Bellarmine committed here an error when he promoted this hypothesis of or Cajetan, or let us say St. Francis of Sales and others. This is not a demonstration of the constant and changing tradition of the church. Therefore, it's not for me an authority. In this case, I mean, I have much respect of St. Robert Bellarmine, of course, but not in this point. And then, what is behind all this? Well, we have also to state that a pope is not able to commit heresy when he is teaching ex cathedra. I mean, when he is teaching in a final, definitive way. It's impossible, because it's a dogma of faith of the First Vatican Council, which says that in these cases, the divine providence, the assistance of the Holy Spirit is protecting the Pope, is keeping him, that he will not commit an error. So he cannot commit heresy when he is teaching definitively. With other words, when the Pope is teaching not definitively, not ex cathedra, he can commit errors, inclusively a heresy. And this does not, I mean, with this he is not losing automatically his office, because he is teaching not definitively, and so on. And behind all these theories of losing automatically the office of the Pope and then judging the Pope and deposing him and so on, for me, it is behind all this, it's a lack of true trust that God is guiding his church. It is an implicit attempt that we now take the church in our hands and we resolve the problem. It is too human. And then it's also behind all this an implicit refusal of the cross, of the Golgotha moment of the church, which we have to endure, to accept, believing that God will end this time of confusion with a pope who is promoting errors. And so we have to have a more deeper supernatural vision.